When Albuquerque Heading Home launched 3 years ago, the idea represented a shift in thinking. The program reached out to the chronically homeless who use the most services to offer housing first, with additional supportive services following. A recent report by the University of New Mexico found that Heading Home has now housed more than 300 people and brought savings of $3.2 million over and above what it cost the city to operate the program. I sat down with Dennis Plummer, Chief Executive Officer of Heading Home, to discuss why this model seems so successful. And now the interview was recorded before the recent brutal murder of 2 homeless men, allegedly at the hands of 3 teenage suspects. And that horrible event brings the danger of living on the streets even more urgently to light. Dennis Plummer, thank you for spending some time with us. I have an obvious first question. In your view, what are the main reasons that cause homelessness here in Albuquerque?
Well, Gene, you know, it really is kind of universal, where the cost of living, which would be your minimum wage, healthcare costs, and then the housing market. Those are kind of the 3 major factors that we see elsewhere. Of course, behavioral health and other things come into play as well, but those are the 3 main factors where they come together. Where housing is not available, homelessness persists.
We might as well get right to it then with housing. How does that part of those 3 affect everything else, the housing portion?
For me, it's really central.
Yeah.
It's the kind of the nail that we have to hit on the head. When you don't have housing, you're in a survival mode. So Maslow's hierarchy, you don't have basic security met. It's very hard to focus on job, education, and other things in your life. Even with mental health, if you don't have housing, it's very difficult to maintain your meds, keep them on your person, as well as have access to those kind of basic needs. So housing is really central in this.
We've had many efforts at housing for homelessness here over the years. How is Heading Home different than previous efforts?
Well, in the previous models, we've typically asked people to go through programs to earn housing, and we found that that hasn't been that successful.
What happened there? Why didn't that work?
You know, I think, Gene, if it's kind of like if I tell you, I have a great program for you, and if you don't do my program, you lose your house. How successful in any program will you be when it's your survival over your head? And so what we've done is we've separated housing issues from behavioral health issues. So you can now work at both separately, and if you fail as a tenant, you don't lose access to your program. And if you fail at your program, you don't automatically lose access to your housing. So these 2 in combination, but separate, really are effective. So now what we do is we just put housing up front. It's called Housing First. It's a model proven nationwide. We've applied it in Albuquerque with the same results, an 80% retention rate after 12 months. This is remarkable, especially given that we focus on those who are most chronically homeless.
That's phenomenal, actually, 80%. What do you attribute that to? What are the main drivers that are keeping people sticky, so to speak? Like
you know, it has to be support with the housing, but when it's not required, people have a sense of dignity and ownership. So these are not just houses that we place somebody into. We take a client and we ask them what neighborhood would appeal to them, what type of apartment looks good. Then we go out shopping with that person or family and help them select. So right from the very beginning, they're engaged and self-empowered. This is about their own housing. It's not some leftover tied to a program that they have to jump through to get.
You know, there could be an assumption of what constitutes housing for the homeless. What kind of housing are we talking about here? We've had a flurry of activity, certainly. We've built some low-income housing. Do we have enough to fill the need, or what's happening there?
It's both. We need more and we need better access. It's scatter site housing. So where we house people, it's not a unit. It's all across the county. We try not to have more than 30% of any one location with any subpopulation located there. So it really is about client choice, and that choice is kind of the essential piece in this.
Do you guide them when they make their choices for where they physically want to live? Is there a map, so to speak, of services, transportation, all the things you need to build a life? Do you guide them in that way as well?
We do. We have a housing specialist, Dorothy Otero, and she really works, and we work with Supportive Housing Coalition with the client to really make smart choices. On average, people have been homeless 20 years that we first started working with, so you can imagine the market had changed and how to select a house had changed in an apartment. So those factors you mentioned, is there a school that's needed for the kids? Is there transportation available for jobs? All of those things have to come into play.
We've had a bit of a change here in our city as well about homeless with the James Boyd shooting. It certainly shot the idea and the issue of homelessness to the front page almost nationwide, certainly. In your view, how has the Boyd shooting changed attitudes about homelessness here in Albuquerque? Has something positive come out of this in your view?
You know, James was one of our clients who had lived in our shelter. We also operate an overnight men's shelter, and so we knew James. And so it struck really close to home. The positive thing is that people are now aware and talking about it. That the mayor asked me what the difference was between James and another of our clients, William, who also has a mental illness. And I told him, I said, you know, the difference is housing. William is still alive today with the same diagnosis that James had, but James didn't have housing yet. His time in the emergency system had run out for our shelter, and so he was surviving in the woods. If we had been able to get him into housing, that incident never would have happened. So William, the difference between William and James is that we were able to get housing in place. Again, back to housing is the critical issue to solve homelessness.
Have you received pushback from folks? I mean, anytime any dollar is spent anywhere in this world, someone's going to have an issue with it. Do you tend to find there are folks that have issues with this?
You know, we're taught in America to wait our turn, stand in line, get what. So that's a hard mentality to tell people we actually want to put the most critically needy in the front. And so the pushback has come, but our research, and it's been independently done, is showing that it's a 31.6% cost savings. So we can stick to our old model, keep people in line, and spend 30% more to have people living on the street.
Now, what is that saving? What are those savings in dollars and cents for the taxpayer in your view right now?
So the savings are in the ER. So we compare 1 year pre-housing and 1 year post-housing, and we compare apples to apples. So we look at ER visits, inpatient visits, jail time. Jail time alone went down 69%.
Wow.
For the year following housing versus the year prior to housing. So the cost to the entire system that we're paying for in taxpayers' dollars, we're paying for people to stay homeless. We flipped it on its head and said we can save you 30 cents on the dollar if you'll let us just give people housing. So it may go against your notion that people need to earn it or they need to get in line, but if the heart doesn't pull you, then maybe the wallet will.
That happens.
Yeah.
We've had some movement on how MDC releases prisoners, and just to kind of fill it in a little bit, the backstory, and I've actually witnessed this years ago, of course. Some of these poor folks would be turned out at 1 in the morning out in front of the old bus station, the old Greyhound bus station downtown to fend for themselves. Take us where the changes have come with that system. What's different now when we release folks, and how does housing step into that?
It's not changed yet. I know that those releases still happen, so change still needs to come. And I think, again, back to James Boyd, I think that's going to catapult the conversation. So now we have a model in Heading Home that shows housing reduces jail time, the kind of the revolving door aspect of things. So we have a model that works. Now the conversation is on the table of what if we provided housing for people upon their release? What if we change that window in which people hit the street and then fall into more homelessness and then back into jail? What if we insert housing into that equation? We really believe that can change the revolving door, that it will reduce the recidivism.
Is part of that process temporary housing for folks?
It's permanent housing.
Permanent housing.
That's
that's the goal.
Key.
Permanent
that's
housing.
The key. Yeah,
Okay.
because if it's temporary, then you've only put a Band-Aid on it. With the permanent housing, it's a permanent solution. And what we'd like to see is to move from warehousing and managing homelessness to the majority of people housed, and we work on keeping people housed. We know that it's a cost savings, and we think it's a human dignity factor. And there's a ripple effect, I think, in the economy. To have less people on the street visibly homeless has a huge economic impact.
Interesting you just mentioned that. Our last question in our time. Is an interesting question. Is this intractable, the homelessness problem? That's always been the meme here in Albuquerque. It just seemed bigger than we were able to manage it. Has something fundamentally changed in your view that people no longer see it that way?
It has. You know, I don't know whether people see it or not, but for me in the business, I definitely see. I often say if there were 5 people homeless, we would solve it. Agreed?
Yeah.
It's not 5, but the math is finite. So if we can solve it for 5, why not for 10? Why not 4? We started with 900 medically vulnerable, chronically homeless. We've housed over 300, so we know there are 600 remaining. We know their names. We know how to contact them once we can get housing into the equation. We know with a 20% recidivism on our end, we can still have another 400 to 450 housed and have it down to what I see as a acceptable amount of people that we're still working with on a daily basis, but we're not overwhelmed by the hundreds of people.
Right.
So.
Right. I can see it. Dennis Plummer from Heading Home, thank you very much for updating us. Please come back and see us when there's more on this. It just seems like there's good traction here. Keep going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Gene.
Absolutely. See you next time.
Okay.